everybody. Welcome to Food Talk with Amy. I am a food educator, speaker, and author of The Hidden Consumer, Uncovering the Power of Health-Conscious Buyers. I actually forgot to grab my book. There it is. There it is. Go buy the book. And I met the most fantastic woman a few weeks ago, Dr. Bexi Lobo, and we hit it off. And she let me know that starting April 1st, it is Sjogren's Awareness Month. So combined with the amazing products she sells and it being Sjogren's Awareness Month, we're going to try going live here maybe every week. We'll see. Everything's kind of like up in the air right now. But we're going to talk a little bit about one of my favorite products of hers, and then we're talking about Sjogren's Awareness Month too and what that means. So with that, Dr. Bexi, will you introduce yourself?
Hi, everyone. Thank you, Amy, for that lovely introduction. I am Bexi. I'm a scientist, writer, and business owner living with Sjogren's disease. And that's a very common, serious, and systemic, and also invisible autoimmune disease.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Well, let's start off by actually talking about Sjogren's Awareness Month. What is Sjogren's, and what's your journey to get here with having been diagnosed with Sjogren's?
Like I said, Sjogren's is a common, serious, systemic, and often invisible autoimmune disease. It is commonly misdiagnosed. So the road to diagnosis takes frequently 10 years. For me, it was 10 years.
Oof.
And interestingly, my skin showed the very first signs of Sjogren's long before my blood tests showed anything, right? So I was struggling with symptoms of Sjogren's as they manifested on my skin as early as my childhood. But it was only when I was 35 that I was diagnosed with Sjogren's, and only because I actively sought a diagnosis and advocated for myself for 10 years. Okay. And I had a PhD. So I was in the literature looking up stuff and going back to my doctors and asking them questions, which doesn't always go well, by the way. Because you get accused of being called Dr. Google and get dismissed for that too.
Me too.
So you know, there's a very fine line between being an educated, knowledgeable patient and not coming across as a know-it-all and offending your doctors and then having a roadblock placed in front of you because you knew too much. Right?
Oh my God, so relatable.
Yeah. So what was the question? I'm sorry.
No, you're good. You answered it. We're good.
Okay, cool.
I do have a follow-up question though, is what were those early skin symptoms that could have signaled had someone known?
So I had really dry, sensitive skin, like painfully dry, sensitive skin. I was putting lotion on 4 times a day. And I mean, slathering it on 4 times a day all over my body. And within hours, my skin was just painfully dry and cracking again, right? So every time I moved, my skin would split open. And if you've ever had, it's like having a paper cut, right? Paper cuts all over your body. So in the winter, when I would smile or move my eyes, I would get these tiny little cuts around my eyes that were so painful. I'd get that around my mouth, around my nose. And then I would get rashes that look like eczema and are often misdiagnosed as eczema because they look very similar, but they're not actually eczema. They're caused by Sjogren's.
Wow.
Yeah. So that was, and then, so I was also a very sensitive child and adult. I'm a very sensitive person for good reason, because your skin is an organ that's connected to your immune system, your vascular system, and your nervous system. And what happens in Sjogren's is that your immune system attacks your nervous system and damages your nervous system, including the small fibers in your skin. And so you can end up with small fiber neuropathy and sensory neuropathy, which means that, so I was a kid or an adult, I have to go through like 5 outfit changes before I find the perfect outfit for that day. So I was always like the high maintenance woman, right? But it was high maintenance because on any given day, based on what my skin felt like and what it could tolerate, this shirt was not tolerable yesterday, could not be tolerable another day. Today it's perfect, right? But I had to go through like this. I was very sensitive to texture because sometimes just the feeling of cloth on my skin would be painful.
Oof. Oh,
And so that's another indication that
oh,
something's going on, that you should probably get checked for
yeah.
Sjogren or another autoimmune disease that might be causing damage to your nervous system.
Yep. Absolutely. And as I have a saying that I'm not the drama queen, but my body is. If
You
I
know,
had my way, wouldn't be an issue.
yeah. But then also, like, so I have an issue with that, like language like that and warrior and other things,
Yeah.
because we then lack compassion for a
Yes.
body that is damaged and sick, right?
Yeah.
And
Yes.
what I have noticed in just changing my language and how I talk to myself and to my body is that when I'm not using that language that is frustrated, like I am frustrated with my body, right? But I'm
Yeah.
giving myself the compassion of like, my poor body, it's so damaged that today it can't tolerate the shirt. Let me provide it with something different. Um,
Yes.
a lot more healing has happened for me
That's
with that
awesome.
mindset shift and the language shift.
I
So I no
love
longer
that
call
language shift.
myself an autoimmune warrior or Sjogren's warrior, because that
Yeah.
implies that you're at war with your body. Or
Yep.
like a drama queen is like you're still frustrated with yourself and you
Yep.
still aren't giving yourself that full compassion of like, yeah, okay,
Yep.
I see you fully as you are with this damaged nervous system that requires this much care, right?
Yep.
So I have taken steps to go that distance, because it has actually really improved my quality of life to do that.
It and I will say I've over time I haven't gone to that leap, but I've definitely made small changes in how I talk about myself and making sure like I give myself grace. I'm like, "Oh, my body's done today. We're just going to rest. Like we're good."
Yeah.
But I still like to pull out the drama queen joke because it's one of those things that just gets right to the center of it that I have gone into medical offices and had the entire staff label me a drama queen because of my
Oh,
body. So now I'm like, I'm gonna own it. I actually I did a Halloween costume one year where it was like a pageant gown with a drama queen sash instead of Miss
I love that.
Universe. It was
That's good.
gotta own it.
And
I'm
that
like, you
is
know
actually,
what?
so that's,
Yeah.
yeah, I agree with you there. Like when other people label you that, you have to make light of it and you have to find a way to make it funny and not
Yeah.
internalize it. So it's the same
Yes.
thing. Like we're doing the same thing. We're just making sure we're not internalizing that gaslighting. You're
Yep.
doing it with humor. I'm doing it in a different way. But yeah,
Yes.
the end result is the same.
Yep. Absolutely. And then I get
Yeah.
to laugh and, everything like,
Yeah.
diffuses.
Well, laughter is the best medicine. So come on.
Exactly. Exactly.
It really is.
All right. So one of the amazing things that I love about you is you have a whole product line designed around sensitive skin, but you and I really bonded over the topic of ingredients
Yeah.
because I know from my own experience dealing with my food allergies that ingredients are key and learning from I used to be one of those people where I started out buying stuff at Target, and then I moved into because I started managing, cosmetic counters. So I was buying like Lancome and Estee Lauder and Clinique. And knowing what I know now, I am it's just amazing the torture we put our skin through for those products. And they are ungodly expensive. Let's just be honest.
Yeah.
Um, and they set you up where you actually have to keep buying their products because they do so much damage to your skin. You feel you need their product to fix the damage it created, but it's never going to fix it.
Yes.
Like when I figured out my allergies and I figured out everything from shampoo and soap and my entire facial regime went out the window. Like I had to start from ground zero finding things. And
Yeah.
it was a really, when you have to go ground zero, it's a tough transition. You got nothing. And I'm just
Yeah.
trying to find products. And I still struggle, but your products I really love. And I'm going to share a link here. Um, this is a product I want to talk about because you have the best story about why the cleansing hydrator came into being, and that for women, this is a 3-in-1 product. So tell me the story behind this product because I loved it.
Okay. So first, I'm going to backtrack because I should have said
Yes.
in my introduction that as a scientist, I'm a nutritional biologist, and what I studied was how food, the chemistry of food, impacts human health. And I studied very specifically epigenetics, so how food can affect gene expression and disease progression. Okay, so that's my background. And I did that for folic acid, folate, and how it affected breast cancer progression. And so then what I did was I took what I learned in graduate school and applied it to solve my skin issues. And I said, okay, if the gut and skin are very similar, how do we use what we know about whole foods and how they affect the gut to solve my skin problems? And that is how I came about formulating my skincare line. It was initially just for me. But it worked so well that I then applied it. I then founded Bexi's Bespoke Revitalization to bring it to everyone else. So this product that I have, the cleansing hydrator, is a product I developed because I so I have to backtrack again. I for a long time couldn't wear makeup, right? And then once I revitalized my skin, I was able to wear some makeup, and I did. And this was before I knew I had Sjogren's disease. So I was still didn't have a diagnosis. So I was at that point wearing eye makeup because I didn't know any better. Right?
Yeah.
So I was wearing mascara and eyeliner and eyeshadow, and I was wearing some amount of blush and lipstick. And so I would go out and I'd come home and still had fatigue. So I would often not wash my face and do take off my makeup. I would just go to bed really exhausted, right? And I knew that was bad for me. I knew I shouldn't be sleeping in my makeup, but I also didn't have the energy to do anything about it. So I developed the cleansing hydrator because I wanted to be able to, if I woke up in the middle of the night or if I was in bed, just be able to, it's a spray bottle. So you can spray it onto a Kleenex, wipe the makeup off, wipe my face to moisturize it, and go to bed.
Yes, finally.
Without having to wash my face and do all of that. Right.
Yeah,
And yes, it's not as good as taking off your makeup and washing your face with water. I'm not a big fan of washing your face with soap for other reasons. Um,
right. Yeah.
but I, this was as good as it was going to get. And sometimes done is better than perfect. Right. So that
Yep.
was what I could do. And that's what I developed it for. But all of my products are multifunctional. One, because your skin is dynamic. So it's constantly changing with the environment, with your hormones, with what you ate, with your emotions, who stressed you out. It's very, very, very sensitive. The cosmetics industry treats it as a static wall that you just like
Yeah.
paint over and
Mhm.
spackle and do all kinds of things to, and it's not going to affect your body.
We're gonna mud and tape our faces next.
Yes. And it's like, no, it's actually going to affect your overall systemic health, whatever you're putting on your skin. Um, so
Mhm.
that means that whatever product you're using should address your skin needs when you need them. And so this line is more of a tool set that you learn how to use to address your skin's needs. So this one product, the cleansing hydrator, can be used as an oil-based cleanser and as a moisturizer, um, and as a hydrator. So it adds, so the difference between hydration and moisturization is hydration adds water to your skin. Moisturizing, as I've defined it, because the cosmetics industry defines it differently,
Yep.
traps the moisture in your skin.
Yep. I love that. And coming from like the marketing world, there's no legal definition of those terms.
Right.
So any
Exactly.
company can use those any way they want without actually doing the actual part of what that job is. That I
Yes.
learned the hard way because my skin has always been super sensitive. I was, I had but I probably had my allergen all my life and never knew it either. And that when you have allergies, it impacts your skin on top of everything else. So, although I probably have another rare disease I haven't collected yet, so we'll see.
Are you just collecting rare diseases? Okay.
That's, again, it's just a fun way to, put
I know.
what we deal with.
You're the curator of rare
Um,
diseases. That's funny because I call myself a mutant, right? But when I think of myself as a mutant, I think of all the Marvel heroes because they were all mutant,
yeah,
right?
they are,
And they
right?
learned to use their mutations for good, and then some of them use them for evil. But there is that whole thing. So I like to think of myself as a superhero.
The other fun one that I like, I don't use it a lot because I don't play Pokemon. I was never a Pokemon kid, but I
Yeah.
kind of feel like my body's a Pokemon ball trying to catch them all.
Oh, I don't know anything about Pokemon except I see these groups of people clustered on corners. That's like that. I know Pikachu because he's yellow. That's about it.
Right?
That's my extent of knowledge about Pokemon. I don't know it.
Okay, I come from a group of nerds. I get it.
Okay.
But that's it. Bexy, it was so amazing to talk with you. I love your product line. And as someone who has a lot of allergies, the cleanly, like literally how clean your ingredients are amazing. Do you want to take a few minutes to talk about like how you source your ingredients before we sign off?
Sure. Yeah. Um, well, I want to talk about something else first, and then I'll
Go
talk about
for it.
that. And that
Yeah.
is that I put the ingredients on the front of the label in big letters
Yes.
so you can read them. So they're not hidden on the back of the label where you have to dig around to find them. I
Yeah.
want people to know what's in there. So I use whole foods. I do put in a blend of essential oils in the regular line, but you can get my products without essential oils. Um, and I have reasons for doing that, which I won't go into right now. And I source as locally as I can and as regeneratively farmed as I can and as minimally processed as I can. So,
Yeah.
for example, my goat's milk comes from a single goat who lives like 10 minutes from me on a farm. Her name is LaFonda. And I get my milk from her. And then the honey comes from a woman in Davis who has two hives, and that's all she has. And her bees, are wandering out around the neighborhood and all these wildflowers, and that's where the honey comes from. The beeswax comes from another honey producer who's again very small in the Sassoon Nature Preserve, and he processes his beeswax very minimally just to take out all the gunk, and
Yeah.
that's it. So that's the kind of quality that I search for when I'm looking to source my ingredients, and that translates into how biologically active that food is. So my products
Mhm.
are living products, right? They're not dead. They're not killed by chemical preservatives. Do I put some amount of chemical preservative in there? Yes, because by law I have to,
I have to.
right?
Yeah.
And so if you
Yeah.
ever find a product that is water-based and doesn't have a chemical preservative in it, be very afraid and do not buy it because it could give you an infection.
And it's illegal.
It's illegal. And then I also use the power of physics. So there's a lot of chemistry and physics that goes into the creation and packaging of my products. So these bottles are made out of ultraviolet glass. And yes, they are extremely heavy and they're not conducive to making a profit. I'll tell you that much. They're extremely and only available from Germany. But I use them because they only allow ultraviolet and infrared light to go through. And they have an airtight seal. And so that the light passing through the bottle sterilizes the product because you're getting UV light and infrared light, both of which is sterilize the product and preserve it and preserve the biological activity of the product. And then the way I process, and so I formulate the way I process and manufacture each product. There's a very specific way I do it that I've translated from my years in research in cell culture and from graduate school, and that's what makes my products different and preserves their biological activity more so than other people's products.
I love that. And what I find, and a fun fact I like, is that you use the same bottles that are recommended for olive oil,
Oh
because
yes, yeah,
olive oil has to be treated the same way. So,
correct.
yeah. So,
So, I mean, that's true of any oil, right? So, anytime you have
mhm.
the serums, and I'm putting that in quotes because what is a serum? But the ones that are like rosehip seed oil and jojoba oil or whatever, and then they come in a little dropper bottle that's clear glass.
Yeah.
Half the activity is lost because light passing through reacts with those fatty acids and
Yeah.
oxidizes them, and what you're putting on your skin then is really not very helpful to your
Yeah.
skin.
And you know what I just realized? After you actually explaining it made me realize that the product I've been using, I'm starting to have a reaction to,
It's
but
probably
I don't. Yeah, and it's an oil-based, but I don't keep it in my medicine cabinet away from sun anymore. I keep it in my shower because that's where I wash my face.
yeah.
It's a clear plastic bottle.
Oh, yeah. Well,
So
and then
it's
also,
broken down. It doesn't work the way it's supposed to because I'm not taking care of it. And there's, yeah. Oh, yeah. I'm
well,
switching
yeah,
to ASAP.
and it's in a plastic bottle, so fats react with the plastic, and it's in the warm shower, so the
Right?
heat's in there and the light's in there,
Right.
and there are
It's like,
chemical reactions going on that nobody ever talks about that create byproducts that you then put on your skin, and
oh my
then you go,
gosh, yeah.
why isn't this working? Why am I reacting to this?
Why
Well,
am I
because
breaking
yeah,
out?
yes. And because nobody talks about your skin microbiome and that
Yeah,
layer of microbes that all of us have. Some people may find it gross, but it's actually really cool, right? So your
yeah,
skin is the interaction between you and the environment. And on your skin, just like in your gut, you have this ecosystem of microbes, and microbes are bacteria, viruses, and fungi. And
yep,
they are all just living on your skin, eating whatever you put on it, and then spitting out byproducts that
yeah,
affect your health. And
yep.
so, what you give them to eat and what they spit out influences your health. And that's why
Yeah,
I'm always saying whatever you put in and on your body will impact your health
it
because
will.
you have this ecosystem in your gut, in on your skin, but also in your lungs, in your eyeballs, in your ears, in your nasal passages, in your
Yeah,
genitals. You have all these little ecosystems of microbes
yeah.
that are affecting your health. And we don't really talk about this conversation
We
that we're
not
having
enough.
the systems.
Yeah, 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 and I'm sure we can keep going on, but, like, Neil deGrasse Tyson was just talking about, I heard a video recently of him talking about the microbes in your gut, and that there's enough microbes in there to, like, one gut could populate the entire Earth. That's
Oh,
how much is in there, and it's like, if you're not taking care of it, can you imagine, like, that an entire population of microbes just, like, dying out in your body? Like,
yeah.
that allows a lot more illnesses and everything else, and, oh, that just goes into my line of work.
Yeah, absolutely. Or like
Yeah,
what you feed it allows for specific populations to increase. And
Greece.
then you end up with bacterial overgrowth, right? Small intestinal
Yeah,
bacterial overgrowth, which is an infection of your gut, um, or imbalances, gut
yeah,
dysbiosis. There's also skin dysbiosis. A staph infection
yeah,
is skin dysbiosis. So, one population of microbes overtakes all the other ones and kind of takes over.
yeah.
And
It's
that's not
just,
good.
oh, no, it's not, and that's why we have to make sure we're eating balanced diets and treating our skin with the respect it deserves and not just putting anything on it, and don't
Right.
strip it. Don't strip your skin, like,
Right.
That's the biggest thing, like, embrace it.
Yep.
I
Yep.
used to be like a combination skin, dry and oil, but once I got all that other crap out of my system, including what I was using on it, I've got normal skin. Like, it's not
Exactly.
dry, it's not oily, it's just skin.
That is the thing that I want to tell everyone. When you actually bring everything into balance, so you learn how to work with your skin microbiome and your skin, and you bring your oil and sebum production back into balance, your body is self-healing when it's given the components it needs to heal, right? And so when you pay attention to what those components are for your skin, you will end up with self-sustaining skin,
Yeah.
because for centuries that's what we had, right? We didn't evolve to have dry skin or all of this stuff. um
It's
our skin took care of itself. Like, we
yeah,
evolved to have healthy skin. It's just that the way we live nowadays and what industry has
yeah.
done to it has stripped us of that, but we can get back to that.
Yep. I agree. I agree. All right, Bexy, it was amazing to talk to you. Can't wait to have more chats. You're one of my favorite nerds on the planet because I'm a nerd.
Thank you. It was lovely. I'm so glad I met you and we were getting to do this. This is
I
really
am
fun.
too.
Yeah.
I am too. All right, for everyone out there, go ahead and check out Bexy's Bespoke Revitalization. I'm going to put this up one more time. This is for the hydration cleanser. Feel free to click that link.
Cleansing
It'll be in the
hydrator.
chat. Oh, say that again.
Cleansing hydrator. You said hydration cleanser, but it's okay. It's okay. I understand. Don't worry about it. There
I'm
is
just like, woo, woo, woo. Okay, I apologize.
That's okay.
and
Don't worry about it.
and with that, you guys have a great rest of your day, and I will chat with you all next.